Okay, well, this happened off camera. So the top plate is welded in, the bottom plate is all cut, and it's just held in place with clamps. I think what I'm going to do is bolt the bottom plate in so that I can remove it, and that way I don't have the added weight of it and the bearing on there when it's not needed. So I'm going to drill those holes, then we're going to set everything in place to mark where the lower bearing goes, cut the holes for it, and then that part will be done. Okay, it's time to cut both ends off this shaft and make it the right size. Alright, the crane is all mounted in, all the fab's done. So if you want to use the crane, obviously the rest of the pieces go on there, but if you want to use the crane, you set the bearing in, you set that bearing and the shaft in, drop in 6 bolts, there's your crane. If you want to remove it, you take all that off, you pull, got to pull straight up and down. Crane comes off, 4 bolts, that lifts out, 2 bolts, bearing comes out. And the crane should lift more than one of these tires will support, so should have no problem lifting anything that this trailer will haul. All right, it's Thursday night. I tried some paint stripper, the gel kind that you brush on, and it just, I don't know if it's because it's so hot out here that it evaporates and hardens back quickly or what, but it just did not. Took the white off a little bit, but didn't mess with the red at all. Even with the pressure washer afterwards, didn't take enough off. So what we're going to try now is one of these wet blaster kits. Bought this a while back for a different project. It's brand new, never used it. Watched some videos and saw the results that those guys had. So I thought, whatever. And it was cheap enough. I think it was like 36 bucks or something like that, $39. So anyway, it is set up. This is basically what comes in a kit. You get some extra ceramic nozzles, a couple extra hose clamps. You get the pickup, piece of hose. You get the attachment. So, oh, and a pair of new safety glasses. I switched out because those are all scratched on the lenses and they're annoying. Running Sackcrete multi-purpose sand. It's over here in the bucket. I'm gonna cut a hole in that lid because one thing they did say in the YouTube videos was your sand has to be absolutely dry. So I'm gonna cut a hole in that so I can drop the pickup tube down in there and try to keep it dry. Then we'll see what we can do, because this is Thursday. This thing needs to be done Saturday by noon. And when I say done, I mean paint cured enough that you can touch it. Yeah, it needs to be done. And definitely you're going to want some good safety glasses and probably a face shield, because when it comes out really well, it bounces the sand back at you. If you've ever used a pressure washer, you can't avoid getting backsplash. Well, imagine that with little beads of sand smacking you all at once. I think our hose got clogged, so I'm going to take it loose and see what I can do there. Well, there it is. I'm going to finish the rest of the fender on both sides back there with a stripper disc on an angle grinder. It won't take very long. If you can hear in the background, the bugs are signaling it's almost dark time, as one of my young friends used to put it. So I may have to set up lights and start painting because this thing needs time to dry. Well, here it is. First time I'm getting to really see it in the daylight. He ended up painting it 8:45 to about 9:30 last night in the dark with a drop light in one hand and the paint gun in the other hand. It honestly looks a lot better than I thought it was going to. Now, I guarantee you, we start looking up underneath, there are places that got missed because, like I said, I couldn't really see, and I had this tongue jacked up in the air on a 3x4, and I wasn't real super keen on crawling way underneath there. I did get underneath it, but I wasn't feeling that very well. And then So I got what I could, and then I lowered it down on the ground, and I did crawl underneath it back there because there's no chance it could fall on me, and sprayed back in there. So back in there is pretty good. Now up in here, I missed some spots. You know, it's expected. It's gonna be when you can't see what the hell you're doing and you're trying to spray through mesh and stuff. So I did miss some spots in there, but that is okay. Also, sorry about that, on the back side of this beam, missed in there. Wouldn't be a major deal, except that, especially up here where I did a bunch of welding, it's gonna rust. And I didn't go to this much effort and trouble to have something that looks crappy in a week. So I need to probably take this triangle mesh off anyway, because we need a jack or something. All right, getting a little closer. Got the foot for the jack done. And of course, right about there, I ran out of welding wire. Number one, this is not that important, but so apparently I had the jack facing that direction when I laid it in there and started marking the bolt holes, and it only fits that direction. So now it's backwards with the label, but whatever. But no, the real problem is it sticks down too far. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be dragging that on stuff. So I am going to take and shorten that dude and then put it back in. All right, so I ended up taking 4.5 inches off of both tubes. I also had to cut the screw down. Where's it at? Cut the screw down slightly. So I will have to drill a hole through here, put the bolt in. I have to put the dimple back in that keeps this from rotating, and I have to weld a little bit on the screw so that it doesn't come completely apart. There is thunder off in the distance, so once again, gotta hurry up. Okay, well, literally just got it installed. It is sprinkling. I don't mind the sprinkling. I don't like the lightning though. And that is all the way extended. I think that will work, especially since we can adjust the hitch up and down, flip it over, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna run in, grab a can of spray paint real fast to paint those welds on that foot so they don't rust while it rains tonight. And then I am done for the night. All right, it's a little after 8 a.m. Saturday morning. We got a couple of things to finish up. We need to put decals, probably on the front, maybe one on the back. The pole, well, I got to clean up the overspray off the wheels. The pole for the umbrella has this point on it, which doesn't work well in the socket, so I'm going to cut that off. And then we need to haul it about 1/4 mile. And I guess at this point, we're going to use the clipper, the country clipper, to pull it around with today. And then I might possibly get out Mr. Boland's, dig it out of the back of the garage and try to get it running to pull this thing with at the show, if we make it up there with it. Okay, well at this point, we are literally less than 3 hours out from this needing to be there. And they'll probably show up early, so I still have to get it there. I have this matte aluminum exceptionally smooth paint that's for indoor use. But gotta do what you gotta do. All right. All right, so I found some gloss white, some Rust-Oleum. We're gonna try that, but we literally only have 2 more chances, and then it's not gonna work. Talking to my daughter over text, she's irritated because she did a lot of work on these, and she went back through and checked the file where she made these, and they were actually supposed to be white. Let me show you. So they were actually supposed to be white inside the letters and outlined. But when you peel them, there is nothing inside. They are clear. So that's part of the reason why they are not showing up on anything dark, because the dark is just showing through, and they're so fine around the edges, it just fades away. So I'm going to tape that down, shoot some white on there. We're going to try one on this side. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then that's probably going to get repainted blue. And it is after 9:30, whatever. So I'm running out. All right, we are here at the family property. I'm hiding behind the garage. Teresa is up front in a recliner because she's having trouble walking, so I have to sneak up around the front of the house, and then we'll see if we can get her out to take a look at this.